going on with ya? It is Raider Fan Radio. The original
You said it.
I said Ray. Ray. Like Ray Lewis didn't murder those people.
No, he didn't.
Like Ray Boom Boom Mancini was a great fighter.
Ray.
Like Ray Charles.
Ray Charles.
Ray.
You ever see the movie Amazon Women on the Moon?
Maybe back in the 80s.
Okay, have you ever seen Kentucky Fried Movie?
Yes.
Amazon Women on the Moon is a parody type of movie,
right?
Like Kentucky Fried Movie, going way back in the past here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Anyways, go watch the movie Amazon Women on the Moon. And at the end of the movie, there's a bit, and it's all about Ray. So just so you know, check it out. Amazon Women on the Moon. But until then, we are Raider Fan
Radio. Vegas.
That's because we're in Vegas. That's right. We're the only Raider Fan. First of all, we've been doing it for 20 plus years.
20 plus years.
We're the podfathers and mother.
Yes.
Of internet radio.
Tell them.
And we are in Vegas.
We do this shit.
Before there was podcasting, there was our three asses.
Right.
And the rest of the crew. Shout out to Mutt and Mike D'Antone, Tim Del Rosario, who started us. All of y'all out there doing what you do. That's right. Send the checks to our address at Raider Fan Radio at Gmail. Because you all biting the funk from the real ones, the original ones, not the pretenders, baby. Raider Rob, the beautiful Black Hotel, and back with you, Uncle 420, Stoner Dude! Yes.
Speaking of OGs and old school and OGs. This last weekend here in Vegas, I met up with our old friend Aphrodisiac.
What's up?
He came out to visit, and we'll get his picture on the big Afro on stage.
Yeah.
He says to say hello, of course, to everybody.
All right.
And it was great to catch up.
Love, Afro.
I love hanging out with a lot of the Raider fans that come out from the old days in Oakland, that come here to Las Vegas to visit and everything. I think he's in Illinois now. Or
so
Indiana.
He left the Bay?
Yeah, he's in Illinois. Yeah, he's not in the Bay anymore.
Wow.
A lot of people left the Bay, unfortunately.
I did not know
the
that.
Bay, even the Raiders left the Bay?
Yeah.
They left the Bay?
Yeah.
Aphrodisiac left the Bay?
We were here first.
The A's are trying to leave the Bay?
Right. No. Boo.
Las Vegas Wranglers, baby. All right? Hashtag Vegas Expansion MLB. You know what I'm on.
That's H.
From the check-in show. But anyway, yeah. Las Vegas Wranglers. Old Suncoast League team from the 40s and 50s that was here. Bring back the Wranglers.
Yes.
That's what I'm pushing. Fuck the A's.
Do not come. Do not come.
But here we are now, Raider Fan Radio on YouTube, bringing you not only Raider Fan news, but just, we like to talk about all kinds of shit, because we love all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
But this is show number 45.
Woo!
Officially, correct?
Yes.
Officially.
Number 45.
Which means, with all the numbers of all the shows we do, we like to come up with some Raiders that wore the number of that show. So, number 45, which notable Raiders wore the number 45?
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I will start, as I always do, deferring to our in-house Raider historian, second only to the great Raider Mort, Raider Rob.
Somebody call?
Yeah.
I called, yeah. Hello?
I'm about to be as honest as I can fucking be because I've been practicing that shit since I lied to my mama once about something at the age of 11 and swore I wouldn't lie anymore. Although I've told
That was a lie.
Yeah, that was I totally couldn't remember. The show crept up on us real fast here the last couple of days, so I didn't really, I'm good off the top of my head, but I really couldn't remember any 45. Now, I've cheated, so I'll say, and I remember him playing Neil Cozy, who was a defensive back for the Raiders, and had the distinction of being one of the supplemental expansion draft picks when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers became a team in 1977, and he was one of the first players to play on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back when they were an expansion franchise. So I remember Neil Cozy.
All right.
Beautiful black hole stuff. Would you like to add to the list?
The only one I was able to remember, this isn't a notable Raider though, but I just remember Ingold.
Alec Ingold?
Yeah.
Alec Ingold.
Yeah.
The part-time fullback when John Gruden was second tenure as head coach.
Exactly.
Oh, okay,
he,
right.
Yeah, he was worked in, and I wanted him to. I thought he was good. I thought he was a good addition.
Yeah, he was good. He was a good
I just
blocker,
wanted him to
could
be
He's a big dude.
Yeah, big
Made
dude.
plays.
Yeah, I wanted him to be used more, but I think now he's with the Dolphins.
So I'm really surprised because the one number 45 that stands out to me is Mark Davis's own former best friend, Marcel Reese.
Marcel Reese.
Marcel Reese, not only was he with the Raiders,
So much for friends. He didn't make it a fucking general manager.
but Marcel Reese, when he was a Raider,
All right.
I think he was
Got some
notable.
cocksucker from the Chargers as our GM now.
He played-
excuse me, as your fucking GM.
He played
I'm sorry, Stone, I'm ranting. Go ahead.
He played with the Raiders for a few years. He did a lot of different things. He caught, he ran. Usually whenever our backup or our main running backs were injured most of the time, Marcel Reese usually stepped up and made plays. And he also ran a kick returner as well. Did a little bit of everything.
He was a great receiver.
A great utility player
He's a great
for the
receiver.
Raiders. So to me, I would say he's the most notable. You know, number 45 is traditionally a fullback, usually position
Right.
number.
Right.
And Marcel Reese, who was doing pretty good there on the while on
He was on the ladder. Didn't you say he was climbing the ladder?
He was climbing that Raider ladder. Right?
And then he got-
And then all of a sudden last year, somebody, I think it might have been Sarah Douglas. I'm guessing, I'm surmising.
Sandra
here.
Morgan Douglas.
That's it. Sandra Moore, Sarah Douglas. Sarah Douglas was an actress. I think that was in Superman 2. That was my bad. But anyways, Marcel Reese was knocked down from that ladder, and now he's nowhere to be found. But
Bye.
we found him here on Raider Fan Radio.
Yes, I think he was the one saddled up in that picture that would be right here of him and Mark Davis, and
They were bros.
yeah.
I wonder what happened.
Yeah. Well,
Marcel, if you're out there, give us a call. Check in with us at RaiderFanRadio@gmail.com. Let
Yeah,
us
you
know
and
what's up.
Chandler Jones can come on.
right.
Ticket, man, because you know we're doing it big here.
Yes.
Got a bottle
Get
for
them
you.
both going at it.
Where is Chandler?
Yeah, we about
Where
to
is
flip that up too. We
Chandler?
about to get out here in the street, man, and start getting with some of these ex-Raiders and see if we can find our old friend Stewie Schreiger and, you know, start hooking up with some mugs, man. We used to have juice. I think we still got it.
Yeah.
We got
Speaking of the
juice?
juice,
That's your segue.
yeah, was it?
Yeah, might as well.
Might as well. You know, it's gonna be maybe a week or so after it's happened, but you know, we're just getting back with our regular shows and programming, and Gladstone made it back. We'll be talking here in a moment about his adventures in Europe on a major tour that he was just returning back from. But in the interim, while that was all going on and we were all living our lives, a great hero of mine, never anything about what happened in '94 blemished or tarnished for me, who he was and what he represented for the young youth, Generation X youth of the 70s, and that's Orenthal James Simpson, O.J. Simpson.
OJ.
Passed away,
Juice.
the Juice, at the age of 76 here in Las Vegas, Nevada.
70 years. 70
Allegedly.
years
No, I'm
young,
just
right?
But, yeah, you know, and of course, most of you under the age of 40, I would presume, kind of like with Michael Jackson. A lot of y'all didn't know him for his music. You knew him for all the tabloid and controversial bullshit in his personal life. Same with O.J. Simpson. You all know him to be the formerly accused and falsely accused, in my opinion.
I was going to ask you that, but go
killer
ahead. Go ahead.
and murderer of Nicole Brown and Ronald Lyle Goldman, June 12, 1994, and the infamous Brown Goldman murders that became, and it still is, the top, I would say, unsolved murder in Los Angeles history and probably in American history.
That'd be my direct question to you both. So, did OJ do it? Do you think that OJ did it?
Absolutely not.
Still working?
Absolutely not. I do not think that OJ did it. And I know that he didn't do it. I mean, I remember at the time when that happened, that
that he didn't do
I
it.
know that
You're
he didn't do
saying
it.
that you know.
Man, I know without a shadow of a doubt.
Damn.
I mean, I watched the trial from beginning to end, and you know, I did my own little case study
the
of
don't
it.
fit, you gotta
You
quit.
must have quit. And you know, I just knew that you know, just the circumstances around this murder, you know, really had to do with Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman's cocaine history, usage history, and abuse history.
So you're saying you're I'm just maybe I'm I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but it sounds to me like you're saying it was you think it be more of a drug dealer culture related incident, murder.
Yeah,
because this was a vicious, deliberate murder. It wasn't just a hit.
Right.
It was a lot.
What was a hit?
The Ron Goldman's head was practically severed.
Right, and hers too.
Yeah, so we're not talking about just a hit on killing people. This is a type of murder that certainly had some malicious, a lot of maliciousness. Aside from the fact that it was a murder,
it's a message,
murder. Violent murder.
It's a message.
It was a message murder.
It's a message
for
murder,
sure.
and I'm from East Oakland, California. And here we go with people that go, I'm from Texas. I know shotguns, you know. And I grew up in the drug culture, okay. And Fan Radio exclusive, much like Black Hole Steph, and many of us back then, and particularly while you know it became a racial divisive point in American history and a linchpin in American history. Many black
after
folks,
the Rodney King riots,
and just the history of the LA cops and LAPD, but
right.
The bottom line was, you know, there's a lot of things in this case that there's the other side of it, or what the true intentions or what have you, and the understandings of the feelings and reactions and emotions around it, what they really were, and the circumstances of the case itself. When it came to the community and the divisiveness of the blacks and whites and the reaction after the whole verdict came out in 95, a lot of brothers and sisters, we knew and had an understanding of it being, you know, very much a drug debt murder.
Right.
It had all the earmarkings of that. And, you know, once you grow up in, you know, Gen X, we're Gen X, you're in the Scarface, you're watching gangster movies, da-da-da-da-da. Well, art imitates life in a lot of ways. We know that. It's working. Art imitates life in a lot of ways. And so you'll have a situation like that where there are certain tells that make it initially what it is, which is a drug debt murder because of the circumstances and the lifestyles and all that. Faye Resnick
became aware at some point that Faye Resnick moved in with Nicole Brown Simpson on or about June 3rd, 1994.
Sustained. Rephrase the question. You can ask him if he conducted any investigation regarding the residence.
Thank you. Did you have occasion to conduct an investigation to determine whether or not Faye Resnick moved in at the 1st of June, 1994 with Nicole Brown Simpson?
I did not personally.
And did you have someone under your direction do that?
Under my direction, no. I believe my partner made that interview.
All right, and your partner's Van Adder?
Yes.
What did Van Adder do to make that determination?
He interviewed Ms. Resnick.
You know, how
forget
Nicole
her,
was, you know,
she's- yeah.
but everything's kind of out there on one side favoring the narrative of, you know, it being OJ. When there were just so many telltale signs like Colombian necktie that LA police officers, two of them, Van Adder and Lang, 70 years of police experience between the two of them. Mm-hmm. They, on the record, called it Colombian necktie.
You ever heard of something called a Colombian necklace?
I believe so.
And it's true, is it not, that a Colombian necklace is a situation where drug dealers will slice the neck of a victim, including the carotid artery, in order to kill the victims and to instill fear and send a message to others who have not either paid for their drugs or have been informing to the police. Isn't that what a Colombian necklace is?
I've heard that.
And sir, isn't it true that you, in your experience, know about drug killings where knives have been used? Isn't that correct?
I do have knowledge of knives being used, yes.
And sir, in this connection, you are aware, are you not, that Faye Resnick became a resident at Nicole Brown Simpson's place at 875 South Bundy on or about June 3rd, 1994. Isn't that correct?
No, I'm not.
All right, your superficial investigation didn't reveal that?
Initially, the investigation revealed she may have been. I've since received information that she was not a resident at that location, and that is ongoing.
You're still looking at that?
Yes, we are.
All right, well, in the course of your investigation, have you learned that she moved in with Miss Simpson on or about June 3rd, 1994, and stayed there until June... May I finish the question?
Finish the question.
And stayed there until June 8th, 1994, at which time she went into drug rehabilitation.
Right.
So O.J. Simpson's 6'2" ass, bow-legged, 46 years old, broke up from the NFL, okay, pigeon-toed, all that shit. Fucking run around here giving people Colombian neckties.
Right. He's not doing
He's
it.
not even
He's
Colombian.
that expert of a knife killer.
Right. Exactly. There were two different knives that were used at the wounds had two different knives on both victims.
There were two different sets of footprints.
Right.
You have a number of neighbors who the prosecution and the media helped to suppress. You really paid attention to the first beginning of the prosecution's case when they deliberated, and it's on YouTube for all of you younger than that and that are curious enough. There were a lot of tells in that had a lot of holes. You know, that should have been questioned. And, you know, the same with a number of things. If them firefighters and them police officers at the World Trade Center say that they saw and heard, you know, explosions and the radios were out, then I believe them. They've been working for the FDNY and the New York Police Department for years.
Right.
They're trained to know shit like that. If the brothers and sisters in New Orleans said that they heard explosions,
they heard this.
and then water just flooded the streets.
Right.
Well, they've been living there 30 years.
Right.
40 years. They're from there. I'm going to believe them. The neighbors in that neighborhood, which I've been to, which you've been to.
I've been there.
Still has an eerie vibe. I've been there at night. I've walked through that alley. All that shit. Them people, the neighbors who the average person that was interviewed by the prosecution have been in that neighborhood 5 years or more.
Right.
Say they heard what they heard, which is voices of men screaming and yelling. Men. Not one.
Yes.
Not
and
two.
they heard a Spanish-speaking man.
I believe them.
In the midst of that. Exactly. There was so much evidence that came out. Her stomach contents were discarded, and but it was noted before that she had cocaine in her stomach that night. So it's like, you know, this is part of it, and it was a professional hit. OJ was on his way to Chicago, and that's where he went. And there's no reason why he would jump behind his own home and knock on the wall, knock, 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 to let Kato Kalin know that he was back
Why
there.
am I jumping over the wall
to my own home?
To my own home when I've just murdered somebody, and I'm the only one on earth in that time that knows I've done it. I've just murdered two people.
I could just walk.
No one knows. It's not the internet. I wasn't caught on Zoom. You didn't, it wasn't live. No one saw me. There's no fucking video cameras or CCTV that was around. I'm the only one that knows that I just did this.
Right.
What am I jumping over the back of my own house for?
OJ didn't do it.
And then it's my house, so I will see the air conditioner. I know the duck. You know? I do a murder for the first time ever in my life. And then I jump over the back fence of my own house. And for the first time in my life, I don't see the goddamn air conditioner in the back of the cottage on my property, and I run into it. Not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Well, you got me thinking. You got me. Well, along with all
Oh, go ahead,
this,
Stone. You asked.
I have an OJ story, an actual OJ story,
All right.
relative to this the scenario with the Ford Bronco, and on that fateful day, it was in Orange County. Living in Orange County at the time.
Okay.
And I was, they call it the Orange Crush. It's where the 22, the 5, and the 55 freeway all kind of meet.
Yeah, I've been through
And
that.
I was out off the freeway, running some errands, doing my day. And I was out in a parking lot, and I was smoking a joint out in the parking lot. And I was just hanging out, getting ready to go take off and go do the rest of my day. And all of a sudden, I look up in the sky and I see helicopters. I heard helicopters, and then I look up in the sky and I saw helicopters. And now the helicopters are literally starting to circle around where I was, right there off of the freeway. And I'm thinking to myself, oh shit, I'm busted. Something's going down. It's my normal.
Now you're stationary.
I'm
You're
stationary, standing outside in a parking lot,
Right,
off of the freeway,
Gotcha.
at a mall or a store area. And I see the helicopters in the sky. I hear them. They're getting closer and closer. My normal criminal mind stoner spidey sense, my stoner sense started going off. And my heart was racing because I thought I was in trouble.
You're like, oh shit.
I was like, oh shit. Yeah, oh shit. They're coming to get me. They know everything. Oh shit. And so anyway, so I'm standing around. I'm kind of waiting for something to happen. Maybe cops come pull up to me or something. It didn't happen, thankfully. And then I noticed on the freeway, I could see the freeway. Mm-hmm. I noticed the traffic on the freeway, and I heard and saw all the police cars in the highway patrol chasing something on the freeway. And my immediate thoughts was, it's not me, but whoever that is, he's in trouble. Wow. Swear to God. So after all the cops go by on the freeway and the helicopters keep going, and now the coast is clear for me, I got on that same freeway, went a few exits to where I was living at the time, my house. And I was living with about 5 other dudes in a house, bunch of stoners just living under one roof. And I walk in and the TV's on, and there's OJ. They're like, did you know what happened? I go, no, what happened?
Yeah, I feel
They're like, OJ's being chased. And then and of course, and on the news it says, on the 22 and the 5 freeway, I go, I just saw it. I'm going right by you, man.
See Al Kelly.
So yeah, that was the day all that happened.
June 12, 1994.
And then my immediate reaction, because going along with what Rob says, because I grew up with O.J. Simpson, not only as a football player, who was one of the great running backs of all time at that time. He was in the comic books. He was in advertisements selling the shoes.
Right.
He was in the Naked Gun movie, all the different movies.
Commercials.
Was he in Earthquake or one of those movies?
Earthquake, Firepower.
He was a star. He was a huge celebrity.
He was in Roots. Yeah.
Naked Gun.
Huge celebrity. OJ was always known as the guy smiling. He was on Monday Night Football. He was on all the things that we grew up with. Mm-hmm. It was such a household name, an icon. My first reaction was, "Go, OJ! Go, go, go!"
He was a safe Negro.
He was a very safe white-niced black guy.
That's
Yeah.
nice. White
He
nice.
was very white-niced black guy at
Like
the
he
time.
said one time, I'm not black, I'm OJ.
You got to put that on.
He was like the Bill Cosby of football sports.
So
We all know about that story.
Yeah.
That's another show.
That is. I mean, this could really be when you think about like where you were when you knew that was when you found out that was happening. It's like so much was happening that day, and I was looking at. I think we were the playoffs. It was the NBA playoffs, right?
There it is. Folks, stay tuned. Hit us at RaiderFanRadio at Gmail. If you want to chime in, have some questions or what have you, let's either go live or we're going to tape a show June 12th, 2024.
Wow, yeah,
Because
that makes
guess
sense.
what it will be?
What?
The 30th anniversary, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Or would that be 20 years?
No, it's been over 20
That'll be
years.
30. That'll be
Yeah.
30 years.
Yeah.
It's coming up this June.
Right.
So we can do a deeper dive.
Yeah.
And really sit up here and, go through some things. But,
Well, I have to say, I don't. Now that you've explained why you think he he didn't do it.
well, there's also some great references.
Yeah.
Let me just show the people. Fuck Marshall Clark's book and Tom Lang and all that other shit, Furman's book. Get something that's the alternative, all that Killing Time with Daniel Freed's book. And then this one here, Body Evidence by the great late Joseph Bosco. 2 in-depth books that really go deep into what the missing evidence is, the stuff that was suppressed that didn't get in,
Right.
more eyewitness details from neighbors, people in the area, and then the whole backstory of what we're talking about, the drug connection, the people
Right.
involved in the drug connection. And basically, OJ worried about his family, his 2 kids.
Right.
And I'm sure in some way he was worried about Nicole too, but there's a lot of evidence, video, and
Right.
audio.
Right.
That one 911 call that is the one that, he's back.
Right.
I think it's right.
333,
They
Grant the
cut out
Green.
so much from that y'all didn't hear. It was more than just,
Right.
you didn't give a fuck about the kids when you was sucking his dick in the living room. He
Right.
was talking about the drug money. He wanted this black book of hers. He wanted her address book because he wanted to find the numbers of the motherfuckers that was, threatening her.
Right.
Because he tried to warn her, man, they're going to fuck you up.
Right.
And it's on audio.
Right.
And he was going to pay off the debt. He'd been paying off her shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it gets deeper than that. So
Right.
anyway,
It's the bottom line is it technically, even regardless of how you feel about it, and
Oh, yeah.
regardless of how a lot of people
It's just
feel about
personal
it,
opinion.
it's still, but more to the point, it's still technically unsolved.
Yes.
Like, as you
Right.
said earlier.
Yes.
Right.
In other words, nothing's hard proven,
no.
and that's the bottom line. That's
Right.
where we are right now.
But he was a great running back. He was a great athlete. We being from the Bay, we grew up with O.J. Simpson being talked about a lot. He ended his career, of course, with the San Francisco 49ers.
Of course, he'll be the Buffalo Bill. His own.
Yeah, he was a
entire
Buffalo
career.
Bill and set the all-time single rushing record, single
USC.
season rushing winner, 2,003
Right.
yards in
USC.
73 from USC.
Mentored Marcus Allen.
Mentor Mark,
Right.
I remember that time
Heisman Trophy
NBC when Marcus was coming out his first season with the Raiders, the first game he played on NBC, they did a split screen of him and OJ to show just how similar
Number 32.
that they
Right.
ran because that's how comparatively
Right.
they ran.
Right.
So much. And he diddled his wife.
Right.
Nicole, let's stop. We don't fuck around on Raider Fan Radio.
And-
Okay,
yeah.
we keeps it real.
And
You
OJ
know.
was the one that the voice that you hear when you hear defense at your NFL game, that's OJ's voice saying that because he was representative of NBC. He worked with NBC for years up until had his contract with them up until this accusation happened. And he started to be whitelisted as this murderer of, these 2 people. But, fast forwarding to today, OJ was and this is what I want to make sure I get on the record.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
I brought this up on, I don't know which show, Raider Fan Radio, but this was in 2022. OJ was doing great, looked great. I suspected he would have lived way further into his 80s at least, if not 90s. He was in good shape.
Yeah, he did look good just a couple years ago.
He was killing it on Twitter. I kept following
He
him on
wasn't
Twitter.
killing it. Was he?
But it was
He
back.
was killing it.
He was doing great on
X-Men
Twitter.
on the killing game.
Yeah.
He was fabulous. He looked good, and he was funny, and he was in great shape until sometime in 2023 when he stopped not looking well. And what I know for sure is that OJ did have the thing. Okay, so just like Carl Weathers, just like Hank Aaron, like Franco Harris.
Hello, I'm Franco Harris, formerly of the Pittsburgh Steelers. As a running back, I took a lot of hits on the field, but I didn't want to get hit by COVID, so I got vaccinated. Don't take the hit. Get vaccinated. That's your best move.
Just like the recent brother that we lost, we still don't know why he dropped out. There was a Raider number. He was only 61 years old. That was at show 44. I mean, the list goes on. Just recently, an athlete from Colorado, 23 years old, good-looking kid, just dropped dead. Why? They found him in his dorm room, and it wasn't fentanyl. Okay, these people are victims of something that happened to our society back in 2021 and our earth back in 2021. And OJ, unfortunately, I don't know why he would, considering how he knew people felt about him, would even offer up himself that way.
OJ strived to get back in the mainstream and be accepted like he was before
really
those murders.
Sad.
And so, unfortunately, like so many people, he went along with the program because he was OJ.
Right.
He was OJ. He wasn't being discerning or whatever. I mean, I don't even really know. I understand where you're coming from. The bottom line is he's gone now. A lot of people are cheering at his death and all that. I think that's some bullshit.
Yeah, that's
but
wrong.
Whatever. The bottom line was great athlete. A great, dude, who had a great life and was a great example, like Stone said, of American success. Until one fateful night where Stone saw him go past and
that's right by me.
Yeah. And we were watching from then on, that night on, from the trial, the pre-trial, the preliminary hearings, all of that. I just, I think it's a sad thing, for us. And I pray that people that have done this will do what they can to detox. There is a way out. So look for that way out and get
OJ detox from
and just detoxing in general.
Well, here's the
staying
best
healthy.
advice you can do for anybody. If it happens again, don't fall for it.
Yeah,
That's good advice. I'll take that. Of course, I didn't fall for it the first time. Speaking of that, this next segment of Raider Fan Radio on YouTube is presented by the Stoner Dude Coloring Book. Dun, dun, dun. That's right, I'm Stoner Dude. This is my coloring book. 24 pages of radical art. There's one that I colored myself that you can now also color as well. Notice it's one-side pages, so it doesn't bleed through. Stoner Dude Coloring Book. You can get it at Stoner Dude. So now we are Raider Fan Radio. At least the two of us. Are you still Raider Fan Radio?
I am.
But you're not Raider Fan Radio.
Well, he is.
I'm Raider Fan Radio.
But you're Raider Hitter Raw.
I have been boycotting saying their names and being associated. Whatever. Go ahead. What's your point?
Well, I mean, I guess it'd be, maybe we should talk a little bit about the Raiders. There is the NFL draft coming up with the number 13th overall in the first round available.
We got to talk about your tour, though, right?
What's that?
We got to talk about the tour. The tour. Dead boys. All right.
Quick, we'll do the Raiders quick.
Let's do the Raiders quick. And then
because they ain't much to talk about.
Because we got fabulous stories from the adventures of your Uncle 420 over here in Europe. All right, so the Raiders. Yeah, what about them?
The NFL draft is here. Everyone's talking about we should spend our number 13 on the quarterback. I don't care about it. I don't want to go up. I take some offensive linemen with the first round, and that's my Raiders.
Oh, you're just like the Saboteurs.
What's that?
You're just like the motherfuckers on TV, the Saboteurs.
The Saboteurs?
The Sabot-fucking-tours.
Explain that to me.
All the motherfuckers that have been, even before I stopped going to games in 2013. Motherfuckers on TV every year, around draft time, who talk about the needs of the Cowboys and the Giants and the Patriots They're always got these type of teams associated with some of the brand name players and top prospects in college. They always got the Raiders picking some cocksucking ass lineman from fucking University of Vermont somewhere, or some fucking second-hand safety, all right, or some fucking third-tier defensive tackle. Never talking about us taking these premier motherfuckers, okay? And until that team, the Silver and Blacks, and Antonio Pierce, you know, get out of that mentality and don't fall for that shit, because we've been falling for it, you know? If we remember what we could have had the year we took Robert Gallery and what was out there.
Yeah.
The year that we took fucking cocksucking DeMarcus Russell.
I wanted Adrian
You know,
Peterson.
Y'all football team needs a quarterback. There's no denying that. But them cocksuckers on TV, that's what they're talking about.
They always want us to
Talking
get
about
an
taking another
O-line.
African or some fucking Hawaiian motherfucking lineman.
Samoan.
Leatherwood motherfucker. Instead of talking about us taking some of the big prospects like J.J. McCarthy, quarterback from Michigan, who was a Raider. Okay? Attitude. Swag. Was
right.
part of some controversy up there with Jim Harbaugh this past season. National champion quarterback.
Okay.
The kid's got a kind of, you know, moxie about him.
All right.
All right, where he don't give a fuck. He will fit in with Las Vegas. Straight up for him.
Okay.
You know, you projected McCarthy and all these top quarterbacks coming out, Drew May and all that, going to all these other fucking first 10 teams that are picking the Minnesotas and all that shit. You get down to us, oh, the Raiders are, yeah, you know, I could see them taking a lineman right here. And
Why do we have a lineman
Why
but
we
no
gotta take the
quarterback?
fucking lineman? You know? So J.J. McCarthy, quarterback out of Michigan, national champion. He's a Raider type player. Al Davis was alive. I'm channeling Al Davis from the cocksucking grave. He would want J.J. McCarthy.
Okay.
J.J. McCarthy is in that same gritty mode of a snake, you know, but has that unsung, you know, kind of reputation of a Jim Plunkett when he came out in 1971 from Stanford. Okay? Xavier Worthy. You've heard me talk about him on this show a couple of times the last couple of years.
Right.
When he was a freshman, I said, keep your eye on this kid from Texas, wide receiver. Okay? Big kid, 6'1".
Right.
164. He's a junior this year. Could be looking to get him, maybe not as a first round pick. He could maybe last over to the second round pick, but hey, what do you got to lose? Since you got rid of Hunter Renfro, okay, and it doesn't look like you want to go out and get a free agent, you know, a wide receiver to pair with Devontae Adams, this kid would be Sunday ready. Okay, Xavier Worthy. Check him out, kids.
Xavier Worthy.
Yes.
There's also a wide receiver, Ladd McConkey. Ladd McConkey. Okay? This kid is 5'10", 186, Georgia. Basically a younger Hunter with more speed.
You should have not
Can
gotten
play the
rid of Hunter
outside and go
Renfro.
over the top. And yes, he is of the, you know, what should we say here? Elmer Glue persuasion.
He's a white kid? Elmer Glue? Elmer Glue persuasion.
With a name like Ladd?
Yeah, Ladd McCarthy.
Ain't nobody in the hood naming anybody Ladd.
But there was another quarterback, too, that you mentioned a couple weeks ago. I'm going to have to throw his picture up right here because I can't think of his name.
Quarterback that's coming out in this draft?
Yeah. He's
I can't
think
remember.
was it Ole Miss? He plays for Ole Miss.
Bo Nix. Bo Nix ended up going to Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon.
Yeah, and they got him being a top flight.
What do you think of Michael Penix Jr.?
Oh, that kid's not coming out yet. I know who you're talking about. I forgot his name.
Yeah.
Right?
Michael Penix Jr. name gets thrown around a lot.
Washington?
Washington. I think he's a big, strong arm quarterback, but I
Okay.
don't know if he's a durable guy that's going to go out there and win you a Super Bowl.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I
Yeah.
could say that about Dak Prescott, but I'm not really sold on him being a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
And
Right.
please,
Right.
please, for the love of criminy Christmas
You
and
don't
all
want
that shit, do not trade for Dak Prescott.
Dak
I've been
is
seeing
whack.
Some Raider fans, you know, since the rumor came out that the Cowboys might be looking to move Dak.
That's a bad rumor.
You know, yeah, and it's a bad rumor to think he's coming to Las Vegas. And he would not fit here in
Dak
Las Vegas.
Carr? No, thank you.
Yeah,
That's
we
the
don't
name we
need
gave
that.
him, Dak Carr.
James Williams, linebacker. Keep my eye on him.
Yeah, I
if he's
want a
available.
linebacker, and at least by the second round.
Right.
6'4", 230, from University of Miami. The U, what's up, Sugar White? So yeah, scrappy kid. You know, can shred blocks, great speed on the outside. We got to get something to complement Max Crosby again. Missing on not trying to get a Chase Young or Jadeveon Clowney or something like that. Someone like that to pair with Max. Maybe you've got a plan, Antonio, in the draft. But
I mean, you would
like
think
him.
he would have an eye for linebackers.
Yeah.
Right.
I like him. I also
Right.
like Chop Robinson from Penn State. A lot of you saw him dominate in games that they played this past season against North Carolina, I think it was. And was it Ohio State? Or who was it? I forgot. But I watched him a couple games. And solid kid, great speed in the end, can play in the box. Can also line up and be a defensive end. Kind of remind you of, well, maybe not remind you, but for the Raiders, Lance Johnstone,
Okay.
Reagan Upshaw. Remember those guys? No, I'm going way back, kids. That's because they ain't been nobody since them, other than Max. To be a motherfucker that you can remember, unless y'all can, remember somebody. RaiderFanRadio@gmail. Hello to the bots, too. We got a lot of bots. All right, I don't know why we have a lot of bots. We ain't sitting here paying for nothing. Views, likes, none of that. We're too old to even understand how that shit works. We're powered by Gen X, okay? Who should be running the world right now. But that's another thing coming. We'll talk about later. All right, on the next show.
I'm voting for RFK.
About these fucking
RFK Jr.
what an octogenarian motherfuckers running the world and fucking it up even more. Anyway, I've lost my train of thought.
You were talking about draft
Chop
picks.
Robinson, 6'4", 254 out of Penn State, linebacker, defensive end. So those are the guys I got my eyes on and would think the Raiders
That's pretty
should
much
look
why I
at.
brought it up, because even though it's not necessarily Raider related right away, I know Raider Rob is going to have the list
Of
of
talent.
his
I still
talent
pay
and
attention.
prospect.
I love football and I love Raider football.
J.J. McCarthy surprised me a little bit in your analysis, but I don't disagree necessarily. I'm just not sure, I guess, if he's worth the 13 overall. But if he's there, we need a quarterback. Bring in J.J. McCarthy in the room with Gardner Minshew
Well, the thing he's got,
in AOC. That'd be a pretty good quarterback.
The thing
for
that
him.
he's got over all these other quarterbacks that they're touting is that he's a national champion. Say what you want about his mechanics. Some say that he's too small. Some say his arm's not strong enough. Some say that he's got a bad attitude. Whatever. Those are all things that the type of silver and black that I want to see,
Right.
he fits perfectly. You want a kid that's a little smug. This is Vegas, baby.
Right.
You want a kid that's a little smug. You want a little arrogance. You know what I'm saying? All the mechanics of the game, that's what you pay coaches for, motherfucker. But he's a quality quarterback. He can hit the spots. He's got accuracy. He just won a national championship. Okay, and college football is more competitive than it was with Ken Stabler or Rich Gannon or whoever the fuck. Than Peyton Manning and all that. And he overcame all that, including being a 20-year-old kid dealing with a controversy of the team being accused of cheating and all that shit. And he overcame all of that.
And they still won.
And they still
Right, and
won.
they still won. That's right.
I mean, if that ain't a recipe for a fucking NFL quarterback,
Right,
okay?
right.
Gardner Minshew, again, like I said on the check-in show, that's novelty, man. These
Right.
novelty quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel. These are novelty quarterbacks, man.
I know. It just, to me,
Fuck
whatever
around and let me go to
just
Denver
do
and kick
something.
your ass for the next 10 years, and I'll be right here at the age of 60-something saying, I told your ass so, I called it.
All right, then.
What are we doing for the draft? Are we going to do a show?
This is it.
Go live? Go live for the first round or something?
No, it's
No, because it's, what is it?
I don't know. I don't know what it is anymore.
April 25th is the first day.
Okay.
Anyway, so April 24th. Is it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Do it 3 days in a row, right?
Right.
Or is it Thursday, Friday? That's
Thursday,
Friday,
Saturday.
Saturday is
Thursday,
usually
Friday.
You know,
what
the
it
draft,
is.
I'll just end, as far as the NFL draft, I'll just end it, for me anyways, on the NFL draft. The NFL draft just meant a lot more to us growing up. It just seemed there was a lot more thought put into it, where now it's like everything else. It's about the hype and how they could sell commercials. It's commercialized.
Yeah.
The NFL's draft is so commercialized that I think that in itself, knowing that there's money involved with it, that also enters the picks and who people go for and things like that.
Of course.
You know, because at the end of the day, it's all about who sells the most products commercially.
Right.
You know, who can be a face for the
The
NFL.
team from this city right here should be busting through the fucking rafters in all of those departments.
But it's not.
Because you have got this city right here behind it that just helps accentuate it 20-fold. And we've gotten a taste of that. I don't know what they're doing over there. I don't know what their plan is. But it's either get this shit done soon and make it profitable and make it winning and take advantage of you're on the verge and could be of being the most profitable football team in the next 10 years and over the next 10 years. You know, if you draft right and have a winning attitude and restore, you know, the grit and the toughness and the intimidating factor of what the Raiders stand for. You know what I'm saying? Well, go your asses back to LA, man, on some real shit. You know, straight up, man.
I don't know what to tell you.
I'm sick of this shit. Fuck you, Tom Brady.
Too much
all right,
for
with your
me.
little bullshit trying to tease that you might come back and, it could be with the Raiders. And, you know, I don't know if the NFL would let me play.
Every time we think we never have to talk about it again,
here it comes.
We got to talk about it again.
Right.
Oh, no, because
I ain't talking about it.
He's my exit. He's my permanent good fucking bye.
He's your final cut of the the string.
He's the straw. He's the straw, and I'm the camel. And that will be the one that breaks. Anyway.
You kids, you know, that are out there, you
Fuck
know,
the kids.
You guys, you know, you have the mantle. You're on you're tweeting, and you know, you're on IG commenting, and you're on Raider Fan Radio commenting, because there's very few places you can comment anymore. You know, just, it's not the same, and we want you guys to hold up that mantle. I am an Oakland Raider fan, and I am a fan of those teams of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and parts of the 90s. But after that,
the fucking 2000s, you were in the fucking black hole. What, you didn't like those teams?
Not a lot of them, no. You know,
you didn't like your punter and your kicker?
I mean, you know, I had a lot of years to look back on the greatness of the Raiders, and I don't see that right now. It could be in their future, as Al Davis always said that it is, but you know, I don't know. It seems like to me this is a place where the Raiders lose and other teams come to win, and until that changes and the mindset is going after some quality players, building a team. You haven't had a quarterback. You know, again, it's the cereal with no milk. You got a great receiver, but you don't have a quarterback. You got rid of a great receiver. You let Josh Jacobs go. This is unacceptable. And then not to mention the tight end of all times that was all pro. It's like, yes, I can't help but be stuck in the past because the past was great. And I don't see those same maneuvers. I don't see that same nucleus inside creating, you know, the greatness on the field and putting together a great team for us to be able to cheer for.
Why you bringing up old shit?
All right, well that's that.
Sorry,
that is fucking that.
To the greatness of Stoner Dude. What I came here for tonight. Tuned in for. Stoner Dude. Uncle 420 has just returned from a marvelous, blessed opportunity that he took on traveling one corner of the earth here, Europe, some other countries over in Europe. He's going to sit here and fill us in and tell us about his adventures with the underground cult punk band, the Dead Boys of Cleveland, Ohio. And shout out to all of them, Cheetah Chrome and Jimmy Zero and Johnny Johnny Blaze, and all of them.
Cheetah Chrome is the actual dude that did hire me for the gig. Yes, I got to go, as I announced on the last show, number 44. Or was it the John Gruden check-in show? Which one was that?
I think it might have been the
Super
Gruden
Bowl
check-in
show.
It was the Super Bowl check-in show,
Yeah, I guess
right?
it's been a while. Yeah, I had the opportunity to get hired, and it's a dream, by the way. Any rock and roll dream musician out there, the dream or the fantasy is that you get to get picked up by a band that's actually has their shit together enough to have some albums out and go on a tour and take you around the world, and that's how you get to see the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did get a chance to do that. That was my blessing I got to do. Thank you to Cheetah Chrome, and thank you very much to the Dead Boys, past and present, because without them doing what they did, it wouldn't even matter. So, but yeah, I got to go to Europe for the first time. I didn't get to go to Turkey. I wanted to go to Turkey.
That's where our
I know we
fans
got a lot of listeners and viewers in Turkey. I did not get to go there, but I got to go to. First, I went to England. That's my first time ever going to Europe, by the way.
Wow, so yeah.
To be in a plane for 9.5, 10 hours, it's pretty gnarly.
Did you trip off of that at all? Were you did it make you kind of
Scared?
Yeah.
Was I scared to be in a plane over the water for that
Yes,
long?
so
Yes. I'm very scared.
how did you handle it?
I'm never happy until I land. No
Right,
matter what,
right,
no matter what the
yeah,
flight
me
is,
too.
even if it's an hour or 10 hours.
Right.
I did take a few gummies to answer
All
your
right,
question.
that's what I want to know.
Before I got on the plane, I took a couple THC gummies to mellow me out, for the ride. When we got into London Heathrow, and of course when you get to London Heathrow, you think of all the great bands like the Beatles and the Stones, that's where they're from, and that's where they flew in and out of. And we did 5 shows in England: London, Leeds, Manchester, Glasgow, and Birmingham. Home of Judas Priest and Black Sabbath. But I was thinking of you, Rob, the whole time, because I know you're always talking about
Thinking of you.
English football,
Wherever you are.
real football. Who's your team? Who's your English
Premier
football
League.
team?
Premier League. Yeah, I used to be down with Chelsea.
Chelsea?
Yeah.
I am now Team Leeds. Just so you
Right,
know.
right on.
I'm Team Leeds.
Yeah, they got a good squad.
I got to go to Leeds. I made some really good friends in Leeds.
Right on.
And their rival is Manchester, which is, it's like, the Altamont Pass in the Bay Area. There's that,
Right.
There's that rolling hills.
Right.
It's a similar thing, but a little bit bigger, that divides Leeds and Manchester.
Okay.
Some rolling hills, but they hate each other. They hate each other like the Niners and the Raiders.
Oh, shit.
They hate each other. Manchester and Leeds are
Let me ask you this.
hardcore, deadly rivals.
When you're in these cities in Europe, when it comes to football, particularly their football,
Right.
soccer, is there, like here in America, is there paraphernalia and apparel and flags and, the notions and signs of the teams?
Not as much. It's not as commercialized as it is here.
Commercial, yeah.
But when you do go into the pubs or the bars, you definitely see all the, like you say, the flags. There's even American football. I did see a Raider fan here and there, or a Niner fan here. People that were wearing.
United States governor.
Yes. So football is worldwide. but of course, if you talk to
Totally good.
people in English, in England or even Europe, they'll say football is their football.
right, soccer.
Probably the coolest part of the trip, and there's a lot, and I won't spend all night talking about a million stories, but we'll tell some stories.
Please.
Crossing the
Story
English,
time with Stoner.
crossing the English Channel on a ferry, a boat, big giant monster boat
That's the boat right
that
there.
carries semi trucks and all
Wow.
kinds of gnarly, huge ships. I do have some pictures. I'll send those to you.
Please.
And we go across the English Channel from England to France. And it's amazing. The sky is amazing. The fresh air. I stood out on the deck and just enjoyed that.
Wow.
Just how awesome it was to be on a body of water like that. But as you go into France, you see the beaches of Dunkirk. And World War II, we know the D-Day.
Normandy.
The Calais. And so when you see those beaches in real life, it's very emotional. If anything I could take back from Europe is how we in America, and of course a lot of the other countries in the world can relate to this, but we've never been bombed.
Please don't let it happen.
We've never, to this point, we've never been devastated by war on our soil.
Right.
Of course, it's also one of the newest lands out there, that's been obviously taken over and conquered, but the United States is young compared to the rest of the world. So when you go to Europe, of course, many other parts of the world right now, of course, in the Middle East, always in the Middle East, that there's just, when you're there, you actually are seeing cities and towns that were devastated, and you're getting to know and talk to future generations that come from that.
Right.
So that history is never worn off. I was in Germany, and you could still feel that tension between what was the old, basically the Nazi, early Nazi party,
socialist,
and then of course the people that are against it and completely at war with it. So it's a constant battle within, and so there's always some kind of tension. In many parts of that world. And the further away you go up to the top of the world, and you get in Scandinavia and Finland is where I went, they're like, we don't want nothing to do with any of you people.
Right.
They're like as far away as they can get away with it, and they keep things the way they want it. So I got to see a lot of these great countries, met a lot of great people. Thank you so much for that hospitality out in Europe. We did 16 shows in 22 days, which means out of 16 or 22 nights, every day was get in the van, go to the next country or the next city, set up, play. Usually we're fortunate there were sold out crowds, get maybe a couple hours of sleep, wake up at the hotel, get in the van, do it all over again, daily. So that grind was definitely a very boot camp-like feeling for me, and I got to do that. And I think I did really well. And,
you did great, man.
And had fun doing it. So that's them, man. Like I said, man. And as far as I guess what it comes down to is I want to share with everybody too. I got to do that at 56 years old. Right. In other words, it's been a long dream. So there's a lot of people out there, a lot of artists, musicians, people of whatever your profession is. Really, if there's some kind of tie-in to where you could have some kind of success with your career that might take you to other parts of the world, it's really a relentless pursuit to get there, and just never give up on that.
And don't put a time on it. Don't put a time limit on it.
Yeah. If it doesn't happen by a certain time, you're not done.
Yeah.
There's always tomorrow and the next day after that. And bottom line is that those possibilities exist. They're out there. And even a schmo like me gets to go out and do those kinds of things once in a while. And I think a schmo like you might find something to do as well. So, and again, we got a lot of things still to do. Right. If anything, when you do get to do something like that, it opens up your eyes and your mind to bigger and better days ahead.
And possibilities. Yeah. Now, what was one of the first things or one of the things that you immediately felt the difference and that you had to adjust to being the type of cat you are? Because you're a free-spirited cat. You're out, you live, and all that.
Oh, that's easy.
You go to other places.
Right when you landed in London, it was raining.
Sometimes you got restrictions.
It was raining, you got in the van, and you're on the wrong side of the road, and everybody talks funny. So that just fucks you up right away. You're just along for the ride. We're in the rain, and we're on the wrong side of the road, blazing through traffic.
Wow.
That was a huge shock, like, out of the gate, right? Out of the airport. France, parts of France, they like us. Parts of France, not so much.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of I could tell that in some of the countries, you might have some English type shows on TV here and there spread out. Some were like nothing. Like, in other words, they're like, no, this is our language. You come here and learn our language.
Right.
And then you'll be entertained. But a lot of great people in France that treated me great. Germany was...
What do you like most about France?
That's easy.
Is it the women?
the women everywhere are great, but France.
They're not great in Helsinki.
France.
Stop lying. Helsinki hoes.
Have you been to Helsinki?
No, of course not. I haven't been to Helsinki.
But France, best pastries, bread.
Yeah, you said.
Oh
that,
my God!
Yeah,
he sent me this picture.
I ate chocolate croissants every day all day long.
We're gonna post it up here. He sent me this picture. This was just an amazing spread of delectable treats, pastries, and fucking sugar-induced happiness.
But I mean, the bread there, everything's so fresh, and the
looks like
so much better.
Right, yeah.
That's for sure. I have to give that big time.
They're fighting for that right now because it's a battle. You know, the farmers, the Dutch farmers, the French, and in large parts of farmers in Europe are in battle right now with the EU over their land, over the ability to be able to grow. And France, it was hot. Their pensions are being taken away. Macron is not their favorite president. So there's a lot going on there. To have gone there during that time, did you see any of that?
I saw protests every once in a while in some of the towns. Yeah, I didn't know. Of course, I didn't know exactly what they were about, but I knew something was going down. So yeah, I certainly felt some civil unrest here and there. Germany, I'll give you my Germany story. Yeah. Germany, I love Germany. I would love to go back there and see more of it.
I like Germany.
I went to Dusseldorf and I went to Hamburg. So anyways, we did.
Went to Frankfurt too?
No, I didn't go to Frankfurt. Pretzels everywhere. Pretzels with more pretzels. And I ate a lot of pretzels in Germany. We were leaving the band.
Now, they put a lot of salt on their pretzels. And is there a difference between a German pretzel and a Bavarian pretzel?
I didn't have the difference. That's a good question because I didn't get to go to Bavaria.
No, okay.
But
did you sell them in Germany?
I didn't notice the differences in the pretzels. I just knew they were everywhere. Wow. They were just really good. So we were leaving Germany in the van, the whole band, the Dead Boys. Cheetah Crow, me, and 5 other guys in there, 7 of us. We're in a van, a Sprinter van, like the Mercedes Sprinter van you see with the highest ceilings, a 8-passenger van. We're leaving, and we're on our way, I think, to Copenhagen, Denmark. That's where our next destination was. And as we were leaving Germany, I got to be on the Autobahn.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
What was that like?
If you're doing 110 or 120, cars are still flying by you.
Yeah.
They drive fast in Germany.
You'd be perfect there.
Yeah, you would love it.
Did you see any accidents? Like pass any accidents?
I did see some accidents. Good question. Yeah, I saw some on some open roads in the middle of nowhere. I saw some cars flip the other way.
Woo, shit.
But leaving Germany, we stopped at a gas station. And we had, of course, you're in a van traveling around all of the Europe. You're going to stop for gas a lot. We stop for gas. As we pull into the gas station, and we're just about to open up the van door. 5 German troopers, cops, just swarmed on us on the van. And I will preface this by saying, out of this 22 days, it took me at least 8 days to get weed in Europe, to get some buds. Right. And I finally did. I rolled them into 2 joints so I could just take some hits once in a while.
Stoner gods were with me.
And I also had a marijuana cookie.
That's what's up.
So as we get pulled over, we were already pulled over. We're parked for gas. They swarmed in out of nowhere, unannounced. Unprovoked, and they just hang there and they profile people. They profile people as they pull into the gas station. Should we fuck with them?
Wow.
No. Yes. Oh. Well, they decided to fuck.
Sound like Mexico.
Just like Mexico.
Sound like Mexico City.
They just happen upon the Dead Boys tour van, and so I'm in the back. We're all in the car. We didn't think nothing of it at first, and then they asked for our passports. So now we're all getting our passports, we're putting them in a stack, and we're giving them to the German trooper, or I don't know what the name of the police force that does what they do out there on the highway. I guess highway patrol for us. But anyways, and they said, get out of the van. There was no questions. The questions were...
Nein!
Yes.
I
Won't get out of the van now!
Nein!
So now I'm like, oh shit. That's where my oh shit hat comes on.
Oh, shit.
And I had the 2 joints in my pocket, and I had a pot cookie in this other pocket. As soon as everybody started funneling out of the van, I took my 2 joints and went,
Oh no, Stone! You ate it just
Ate it for the nation, baby.
just like Cheech.
Just wait here a minute, huh?
Hey, hurry back. I missed you already, darling.
Come on, man. I gotta get rid of this dope, man. Don't act a fool.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna get busted.
I'm blind! Oh shit, I'm blind, man! What's up, man? hey, blind! I can see clearly now the rain. Hey, how long does this shit last, man?
And what is your name, sir?
You scare me, man. Well, I told you my name, man.
Sir? What's your name?
Oh, here's that. Hey, what's your name, man? The dude wants to know your name, man. His name is Ralph, man.
Self-preservation.
No chalk, actually.
Self-preservation is the
dude,
first law
and
of living.
it was instinct. I didn't even think twice. As soon as
That's that Oakland inning.
I've already got that hand in my pocket, ready to go no matter where I am. So now I know we're gonna get fucked with by the cops. My hand just went. That was it. So now I've got 2 joints in my mouth. I'm chewing away.
Tommy Shaw
But of
would be
course, you
proud.
don't want to chew. You don't want to chew conspicuously. You gotta kind of
That's too bad.
hold it down, And so now we're all out of the van, and we're standing along the wall, just like in the movies. And I see a vending machine along the wall by the gas station, and I took my pot cookie and I nonchalantly just leaned my elbow on the vending machine and just kind of slid it behind.
Stop!
Give me those moves. Give me
That's how
those
you
moves.
do it, baby. That's how you do it, baby.
So I'm slipping away my cookie. I'm gone. Got my 2 joints. I'm good. Now at least I know I'm not going to German jail.
Right?
That kid's what they call situational awareness. Something Derek Carr didn't have. And hopefully the next quarterback y'all get that's worth a damn has it.
Yeah.
Situational awareness. That's it.
So the cops went through our bags.
Oh,
They
it
went
was
through
over.
our guitars in the back.
No.
They were thorough. And of course, I was the stoner. They were all a bunch of drunks. Not them, but the guys in the band. But I was pretty much the main stoner in the van. So but luckily I got it. I got rid of it quickly. I maintained. Now after they finally were frustrated and pissed off that they didn't get us for nothing, they were disappointed.
Wow.
We didn't get these Americans for nothing, They kept asking if we had any cocaine or any weed.
They asked
No.
you have the cocaine.
Just gonna have fun with
You
the
had the cocaine.
Americans.
So
You had the cocaine.
we finally the cops let us go. They give us our passports back. We get in the van, and now I still got another 5 hours of driving time to get to Copenhagen. And about 45 minutes to an hour in, I remembered I ate those joints. And I was stoned. When you eat weed, man, it's
good for
radical.
you. Yeah,
It's
it
a
is.
full body. Yeah,
Right.
right. Motor skills are starting to diminish a little bit. But that's probably my favorite story out of the whole thing. Other than that, it was rock and roll, playing drums, playing shows, having a great time, and just to put a cap on it, when I came back, we flew from Finland. After 16 shows, we ended up in Finland, flew back over Greenland, which is ice.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So kind of like the top arch of the world, and then came down over Canada. For you flat earthers, I don't know how you do it, because I'm telling you where I was. And as we come over Canada, we landed into the United States, and I could see on the plane, on the little map on the screen what you're watching, it said Chicago and Minnesota. I'm like, USA! 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 I definitely have an appreciation for my home, appreciation for other parts of the world, but, you know, the old saying, you never know what you have till you miss it. Right. Glad to be back on Raider Fan Radio with my cohorts.
Glad to have you back.
Raider Hater Rob, the beautiful Rock staff. And it's glad to be just back into my home environment, where we're now where I get to anyways pick up where I left.
You got him back, Abby. Yeah, you made it back. Hey, just to do justice to the Dead Boys, a band that was part of the American punk scene and one of the forebearers and pioneers of the punk scene, along with the Dead Kennedys and the Ramones, of course, here from America. And a lot of other bands, they were, you know, the underground, the gritty, the bad boys, even in punk music, from Cleveland, Ohio. And to do them justice, the legacy that Stone was representing, we want to give a shout out to the memory of the original lead vocalist, Steve Bader. He passed away many, many years ago. Rest in punk. To him,
I like that. Rest in punk.
Cheetah Chrome, the original lead guitarist, and who Stone was on tour with. I guess the guy that officially is the Dead Boy.
He's the only alive. Well, not the only alive, but the one keeping it going.
Right. And then shout out to former and founding rhythm guitarist Jimmy Zero. I love that name, Jimmy Zero. Sounds like a great wrestling name. And then to round it out, the man whose legacy Stone was playing a role in, you know, recapturing and reproducing with so many legions of that cult following that they have in Europe and around the world on drums, Johnny Blitz.
Yep, I got to learn Johnny Blitz's drumming and play it all over Europe.
So what was that like though? Just being immersed in their little world, their culture, being with a band that you're the hired gun, so to speak.
That's a great question.
And then you're in their world. Into this thing.
There was a lot of surprising moments for me. I knew it would be cool. I knew it would be fun. But there were, certainly out of 16 shows, many of them, most of them actually, like I said earlier, were sold out. And these were by hardcore, real cult fans. Like, we follow the Raiders. Music aficionados love their music. If you're a punk rocker, you love all kinds of punk bands. You're going to go see every punk band, you know. It doesn't matter what style or genre of music. But theirs was very hardcore. And this is 40 years ago. 40 years ago.
And we can feature them tonight, by the way. That's predominantly the music.
More than 40 years ago.
In the back is the Dead Boys.
They remember, the fans that were in the crowd, I felt very, very connected to all the faces as they were smiling and cheering and singing along. And because I'm the drummer, I mean, the job of the drummer is to be the guy that keeps it all together. I was feeding off of the crowds. I was feeling them feel me. I got a lot of love at the end of the night by a lot of fans, you know, signatures and things like that I was fortunate enough. But yeah, Johnny Blitz was a very popular drummer that played cool. His drumming's very Keith Moon-like to me, meaning
very freeform.
A lot of freeform, a lot of drum rolls, a lot of feel, very aggressive, and for me to get to do that.
You're a physical drummer too, though.
If I felt very comfortable in that role, like I heard that drumming and went, "Oh yeah, I can do that."
Yeah.
Like, and not only can I do that, but that looks like fun. Like I want to get on that roller coaster and ride it. So that's what it was like for me. So yeah, to come back after getting a chance to go around the world and do that kind of thing, again, a musician's dream, and God bless the Dead Boys for taking me out there, and I'll still probably do some shows in the future, but in the meantime, like I said, I'm back in Las Vegas, and there's a lot of art, music, and a lot of cool shit going down here in the city of Las Vegas in Nevada.
I know that Living the Dream has become, you know, a popular phraseology and pop culture term nowadays. But when it's like that, that's living the dream. You know what I'm saying? When you're able to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, that's living the dream. You know, like in a lot of phases of life, it's not just a catchphrase, you know, and a popular little term everybody's using now. Hey, how you doing? Oh, just living the dream.
Living the dream. I say that all the time.
And I know they mean it, you know, a lot of ways it's a sarcastic.
Sure.
You know, the fact that life is, you know,
it really
not
sucks.
much of a dream.
Right.
But it doesn't. My life hasn't sucked up to this point.
No.
I had some sucky moments and a lot of fucked up losses of people, but other than that, it's been great. And that's part of it. You know, that to be a friend of someone and be in that orbit and having witnessed your pursuit of all those things. And you saying, when you came to Vegas, I want to be that drummer who goes out and plays gigs. Hey, you're a new band, hot band, whatever, old school band. I'm going to the airport, flying out of Vegas, going to do the gigs, coming back home.
It's pretty cool.
And that's what I want to do.
It's pretty cool because
you're living it. That was your dream. And
because
you're
of
living
punk rock.
For real.
I'm getting my passport, stamped
that's
after a time.
awesome.
Yeah, so that is definitely. But like I said, man, the dream continues.
The dream.
Right here at Raider Fan
Always
Radio, on Raider Fan Radio Vegas on YouTube.
Powered by Gen X, baby. We have been Raider Hater Rob, the beautiful black girl. You want to say something about the tour? You got anything you want to comment? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm just taking it all in. Just
happy for you, man. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Exactly.
I'm happy for you, man.
Really cool experience. So thank you to let me to live the dream through you. And the pictures, just some of the pictures that you shared
You're
of the crowd.
Beautiful black hole.
Thank you, Steph. The crowd, they were super into it. They were like, it was really cool to see that. It makes me want to go back and listen to more of the music just so I can clue in on, punk style, because I don't know a lot of punk bands. But yeah, that's it.
You want to take us out, Steph?
Sure. Thank you so much for tuning in to show number 45.
Xavier Worthy!
We told you that we'd be back.
James Williams!
And here we are. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Log in.
JJ McCarthy!
Leave a comment. Let us know you are not a bot.
Not a bot.
Not a bot.
But hi to all you bots out there. And what about that shit? No.
And Matt with 2 T's.
Matt with
What's
2
up?
T's.
We're going to get with you soon.
Yeah,
he was in the chat room.
Yeah, saw that he had left a comment or something.
Matt with 2 of them.
Wilkes-Barre's finest. What's up, man?
We'll see you soon right here at Show 46, RaiderFanRadio.Vegas.
Later, Raider.
The views and opinions of RaiderFanRadio.Vegas, RaiderFanRadio.com, and Raider Fan Radio Media are not the views and opinions of the Las Vegas Raiders, Al Davis Football, Inc., or the National Football League. RaiderFanRadio.Vegas is an independent media source.